because when I originally started school, I was going into criminal justice because I was thinking some kind of lawyer, maybe a prosecutor. I had done about like 2.5 years as a junior officer for the Irvine Police Department.
Yo.
That was more for like just community service.
Sure.
But I honestly I would recommend it to anybody. Like if you really want to like understand like how our criminal justice programs work, like from the law enforcement side. We flew out there to Johannesburg and we took a road trip to Mozambique. Our first day there was a baboon spider. It's like they're like as big as tarantulas, covered in hair, and they can jump. And I'm like,
They can jump?
hell no. Like I didn't sleep there at all. Like I would stay awake all night just watching the door and sleep during the day. And yeah, they even found a snake in the toilet in someone's hut. It was crazy. Like that'll change your perspective for sure.
So what did you want to do? I know volleyball was like a big thing. So like this is a transformation moment, you know? It's kind of like, I'm going to bring back to Dragon Ball Z, but like it's like Goku and fighting, right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, Goku fights, right? That's what he does, right? You know? So I imagine like, what does Ben do now? Like, who is Ben? Like, okay, Ben got to figure out like, what direction do I go? You know?
Yeah, and no, I think I've spent quite a lot of time on this. Like I really wanted to go into bodybuilding. Then found out you have to be on like 5 different steroids to even compete, and I'm like, nope, not gonna do that then.
Yeah.
Don't want to die when I'm 50. And just kind of like, because when I originally started school, I was going into criminal justice because I was thinking some kind of lawyer, maybe a prosecutor. And I had done about like 2.5 years as a junior officer for the Irvine Police Department.
Yo.
That was more for like just community service.
Sure.
But I honestly I would recommend it to anybody. Like if you really want to like understand like how our criminal justice programs work, like from the law enforcement side, like it's a really good idea. Like you can go on a ride along right now. You can go today. Like you can go and ask them like, hey, I'd like to go on a ride along and just see how you guys do things. So it'll really get you in the mindset of like why they do things the way they do and stuff like that. I know there's this guy on YouTube. His name's Donut Operator. I don't know if you guys heard of him.
Hey.
But he kind of like goes over like, what's it called? Like, body cam footage and footage over like proceedings. Like he kind of does it like how the show Cops works. Like he kind of like goes over. It's like, oh, this is why they're doing this, because he's a former police officer. He's retired now, and he's just like going over why they would do X, Y, and Z.
Why they make the decisions that they make.
Right. And I was kind of in that. I was like kind of thinking, maybe police officer, but I figured I'm like, well, prosecutor makes quite a bit of money.
Sure.
So I'm still leaning towards that, even in school. Like even now, like I'm still leaning towards maybe lawyer, but that's kind of the direction I'm heading at. But you know, I'm still going to the gym. Don't worry.
No, I imagine so. A lot of times what people say is that one of the things that really helps them figure out their way is traveling. And I know you went to Africa at one point. I don't know if it was as a kid or was it more as an adult. Do you know when you kind of went out there?
So I remember like when I went there when I was like 3 years old.
Oh, you went there really young.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was much later in life, but continue.
Oh no, I did as well, but like that's the first. So that's the first time I went. It's really hot over there. So I went there when I was 3, when my grandfather was still alive. We went to this thing. It's called the Brown House because it's like this big clay house that's like huge and it's made of, and it's completely brown because it's made of clay.
Sure.
And it's out there in the bush, so like you could sometimes see the wildlife. Like there were some warthogs that came to the door because they were just like, they're curious animals sometimes, and they're just like poking their nose through the door. We went there, like kind of went on like a little safari thing, like where you just get to see the wildlife, got to see hippopotamus and everything.
Yo.
And then after my grandfather had passed, we went out there to like, there's like this, I think it's a baobab tree where we scattered his ashes, and that's where my grandmother's ashes were scattered as well, and my dad's ashes are going to be scattered there too. then we went again when I was 14. I think I was 14. That was for my mom's brother's birthday. It's like his 40th birthday. So we flew out there to Johannesburg and we took a road trip to Mozambique, which is like like third world country, like textbook third world country. Like no electricity, no running water. People aren't driving cars, they're driving like these little buggies they've scrapped together, and it's like crazy over there. Yeah, try it out if you've never been to a place like that. Like, go and see there. I was there for a week, and
your perspective changes a lot, I imagine.
100%. I think if you have to take malaria tablets before you go to a country, your perspective will change.
Sure.
Because like that the tablets themselves aren't even a guarantee. It just means you're gonna have a much better chance if you get it. Because I mean, what is it like? Malaria is like still like the biggest killer of like biggest disease that still kills people.
I imagine
next to tuberculosis, you know. So we went
drinking water. Yeah, it's hard.
Oh, you can't even drink the water out there.
Yeah.
It's like when they say when you go to Mexico, don't drink the water. It's got to be bottled. It's the same thing over there. Like, you got to bring your bottled water from outside the country. Like, it's nuts over there. Like, they barely have an economy because of the hyperinflation over there. They have like these fun. It looks like a joke. Like, they have $1 trillion bill over there with like their prime minister or whatever on there. But like over here, that wouldn't even be like a nickel. Like, it's just so it's bad over there. Like, you have to be careful with the food and everything. You have to be careful when you go outside because there might be like spiders or something. They even have like these like guards or whatever that like would hang out outside our hut just to make sure like any wildlife doesn't like wander in or anything like that. Because our first day there was a baboon spider. It's like they're like as big as tarantulas, covered in hair, and they can jump. And I'm like,
they can jump?
Hell no. Like, I didn't sleep there at all. Like, I would stay awake all night just watching the door and sleep during the day. And yeah, they even found a snake in the toilet in someone's hut. It was crazy. Like, that'll change your perspective for sure.
And so, and this is the world that like your family comes from. And so, I mean, it's just very cool to see like how your father is just so tempered in a way. Even though he's not in this, he's in Johannesburg, not in Mozambique, but the same kind of concept goes like, that's kind of his home, that's kind of like a little bit of your home in a way, and it's kind of a part of your history.